In this video, I'm gonna transform this tiny village into this massive one, including terraforming a massive mountain. We got a lot to get through and not a lot of time to do it, so let's get started on the dragon. I head into the caves to get some obsidian, because to enter the end I need more gear, pearls and blaze rods. I then craft a diamond sword, a pair of boots and an enchanting table. The goal with the boots is to attempt to get feather falling 4 from trading with the villagers, as I don't want to risk dying from fall damage, both in the nether and when fighting the dragon. I eventually get feather falling 3, so I buy 2 books, which I finance by selling sticks to a fletcher. I then craft some fresh armor that I enchant, and then using an anvil I put the 2 books on my boots. We're all set for entering the nether, so I build a portal, hop in and run around like a headless chicken for 25 minutes before eventually stumbling over a fortress. I have a somewhat close encounter, but eventually I manage to get the blaze rods that I need. The next thing I'll need is ender pearls, and there's 2 ways to get them in the nether. The first is a warped forest, which I haven't been able to find, and then there's from trading with the piglins at a bastion, which I found right here. However, after picking up the gold blocks and trading them all to the piglins, I've only gotten 1 trade of 2 pearls, which is pretty unlucky. Anyway, I head back to the fortress to pick up some wards for potions, and after killing a random wither skeleton, I get a skull, which is pretty lucky. So I guess that makes up for the lack of pearls earlier. I do also find some diamonds, so all in all it's been pretty good so far. Now at this point I'm pretty much ready for the dragon, so here's a quick montage. As the dragon dies, I pick up the delicious XP and the dragon egg. But we're not done in the end dimension yet, because I need more gear, shulker boxes and an elytra. So through the gateway and let's raid an end city. With that done, it's time to tackle the wither. Even though the gear I've already gotten goes a long way, I'll need more in order to fight the wither, and that starts with an efficient XP farm. So after arriving back at base, I shear a bunch of trees for non-spawnable building blocks, name a name tag, fill my shulker with the rest of the materials, and we're off to the end to build an enderman farm. With the farm done, I make a couple of enchantments, but to truly make great armor, I'll need mending books as well. So I trade with the villagers until I first get efficiency 5, which I can't pass up on, and also a short while later, the big mending trade. So I head back to the end with a ton of books and begin combining all the armor and tools. I also make a wither sword with smite 5 on it as well as looting 3, perfect for killing the wither and for farming the skulls, which is exactly what we're going to do next. So head back to the overworld, into the nether, over to the fortress, and let's get some wither skulls. Now having gotten the skulls, there are 2 ways to fight the wither. The first is to dig below the end portal and trap the wither in the bedrock. Nice and easy, but not very exciting. Now the other way is to find a plains biome, put down the soul sand and skulls and fight it head on. Nether stars might be cool, and I can now make beacons, but in order to get anything out of it, I need a pyramid under it. And I could show you me running around mining for a couple of hours, but that's a bit boring, so I'll just show you this giant pillar of materials that I've gotten. After having smelted the materials, I found out I didn't have enough. So after another trip into the mines, I had what I was missing. I smelted it all, and I was finally able to build a beacon, so now we can get started on terraforming. The plan for the terraforming is to enhance the current shapes of the mountain, so I'll try not to change way too much, but still sharpen some edges and add general details. And to do this, I first pick up some stone, and let's get to terraforming. Next up is the front of the base mountain. Here the plan is to take a path from the water up and towards the main city, which is yet to be built. Again, I tried to keep things as natural as possible and add some trees and rock piles to decorate it further. I will also build a watchtower which serves to overlook the mountain front. But to do this, I'll need materials, and then we'll get to building. Now at this point, I've invested too much time in this world to die to some random thing happening, so it's time to get a totem. I head to a nearby pillager tower and pick up the bad omen effect and run to the nearby city so I can activate the raid. I have a bunch of close calls where I nearly die, but eventually I managed to get a few totems. Now I'm not able to finish the raid since the pillagers are hiding in a massive cave system underneath the village, so eventually the raid times out and it's back to farm some more resources before building a bridge and terraforming the rest of the mountain. With the outside finished up, it's time to head inside the city walls, where I'll first terraform the ground, and after that I'll add some infrastructure, then build a large pond with a creek which connects to the waterfall, and after that it's time for a church, so let's get to it. With the church completed, it's time to move on to the next phase of the build. Well, build an entrance to the city, a watermill by the river, a butcher, an inn and a smithy. To do this though, I want to use mushroom stems, so I get a silk touch axe, and after chopping a ton of giant mushrooms, it's time to get building. After building the butcher shop, I needed more wood for the rest of the buildings, and while chopping down more trees, I found a 1 in 1,000 pink sheep that I wanted to bring back to the city. Unfortunately, as I arrived home, the sheep got blown to bits by a stray creeper. Pretty unlucky, but to remember the sheep, I put the wool into the castle flag so it could always look over the city. So let's keep on building. With everything being finished on the right side, it's time to cross the river and build the left. Here I've got plans for a nice marketplace along with a barn and a secluded house out back next to the castle. I need some red sand for the marketplace, so I pick up some from a mesa and let's build the left side. The left side is all done and dusted, and the only thing that now remains is the castle area. I'll add a well, a barn and a garrison. So without further ado, let's finish the city. Now with the city finished up, I'll leave you with a few panning shots of what has been my best build in all my years of Minecraft.